I just sharpened this Kinfolks Folding Hunter 1939 to 51, cracked iced, all original. It did have a broken back spring, and Daniel Duke replaced that for me from Alabama, Horton, Alabama, and good full blade on it. But I'm going to strop it a little bit, then we're going to see how this thing cuts. Let's see if we can find some. That's a real thin paper, so it's easy to fold on me. But it's sharp. These Kinfolks are sharp knives, very sharp knives. So there we go, guys. Kinfolks Folding Hunter 1939 to 51. For anyone who don't know, Kinfolks was the first brand I collected. It's more case than case. Two Case boys, I believe it was John Case and Dean Case. I could be wrong about John Case. Tint Chaplin, the son of JBF Chaplin, who Tint was also an owner of Cattaraugus from the time he was 7 years old. They started it in 1925. Used the Tang stamp, Kinfolks Incorporated, spelled out from 1925 to 27 or 28, just a couple years, and they changed it to INC, Kinfolks Inc. And then in about 1939, they went to the USA, or maybe a little before, the Kinfolks USA stamp, and used it till about 51. In 51, they changed it up here on a spine. It just said Kinfolks USA up here etched, which is a bad idea because it gets rubbed off easy. And then in 57, they sold out. By this time, Dean Case had bought the company from the other two partners and owned it. And he liked racing harness horses, and his company, his employees voted to go union, and he didn't like the union. He talked Emerson Case, who was his nephew, who was running Robeson at the time, the general manager, into talking Robeson into buying Kinfolks. They bought Kinfolks. Don't think they ever made any fixed blades anymore, but they made some folding knives, and you can tell they're Robeson looking, but they're Kinfolks stamp on them. And they made them till about 1965 when they closed. Kinfolks is just packed with Case history and Cattaraugus history. A lot of the same knives, Case tested. There's a Case tested knife that looks just like this with cracked ice like that. Like I said, this is all original. Daniel Duke did replace the back spring that was broke, but it's all original. And Kinfolks is just, it's amazing to me that not more people collect Kinfolk knives and not know more about them. They're packed. I guess one reason is because Kinfolks closed in 57, sold out, and were never made after 65. And Case is still going today, but I mean, it's so packed with Case history. There's some of those old Case brands like Standard Knife and stuff that guys know about, and they barely know about Kinfolks. And Kinfolks is the top of the line in the knife world. It deserves a lot more recognition than it gets. The first knife I collected, mainly because I just like the name, and I like the yellow marbleette. And I actually don't even own a yellow marbleette. I used to have dozens of yellow marblettes and twin sets and all that, but right here, I carry this. This is probably Kinfolks or Cattaraugus made. That is yellow marbleette there. This is a Marshall Wells company. They were a hardware company. They bought out somebody in 1889 or something like that. And I mean, that thing's sharp as a razor too. Look at that. But this knife was probably made by this Kinfolks Cattaraugus, because I don't believe Marshall Wells made any of their own knives. But there's a little bit of history on Kinfolks, and I'll show you this thing back here. It's in good condition. And just, I never even sharpened this secondary blade. Let's see if it cuts at all. I mean, I sharpened it, I'm sure, at one point, because I've had this knife for at least a year or more. It surprised me. I've had it up for sale a couple times, trying to get 120 bucks for it, which is really cheap for something this rare. You'll see a few case tested, like I said, like this, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a few cattaraugus. In those 1920s, late 20s, and early 30s, you'll see a lot of knives that Case, Cattaraugus, and Kinfolks made that look identical. That, you know, I think those boys went up to their uncles and got parts, and went to JBF, you know, to Tinstad, got parts. And I'm going to show you another folding hunter here. This here is another one. I did a video on this yesterday. It's Roger's bone. This is what your typical. You'll just see so many Kinfolks folding knives. I mean, folding hunters. They're fairly common, but other ones, other patterns are extremely rare. I collect Massillon. I live in Massillon, Ohio, and I collect Ohio Cutlery Massillon knives, and I've got 16 of them, I think, and they're extremely rare, but I've had guys look for them for me. I know a lot of knife guys, and I've been fortunate in that situation, but I've seen a lot less Kinfolks. I'm telling you, a lot less of the old Kinfolks, other than the folding hunter. And I'll show you, I have a couple. The only ones I own, actually, is I have two small cracked ice that are original 1930s or 40s, you know, Kinfolks. This one had a crack. I repaired on it. It says Loom 1002, but it's got good snap, small pen knife. This one I just got here a couple months ago. It's a little sleeve board, but it's an original Kinfolks. It's just so rare. I mean, I'm always looking to buy any old Kinfolks. Daniel Duke's sending me a peanut in really good shape, which I've never seen. It's very rare. And this is one of the first ones I've had here. This is a Kinfolk USA 39 to 51 punch blade. I've seen one other one, and it sold for 250, 300 bucks, 250 bucks or something like that, and I missed it on eBay trying to get it. But this one had the Rogers bone broke, and I put ram's horn on it. I'll tell you who done it. Bob Picklesheimer. And Bob did quite a few knives for me, but he told me that he was quitting. The last time he did one for me, he said he was quitting, he was retiring. And then I made a post on Facebook. I said, thanks for doing this knife for me. I appreciate you doing one more before you retire. And he got pissed off and said, hey, it wasn't your deal to tell. I never could figure that out. I assumed that, I don't know this for a fact, but I assumed that Bob probably wasn't retiring and didn't want me to say that. I had sent him a lot of old knives with some worn blades on them, and he was probably just tired of doing them. The last one he did for me was a Massillon. It was an old Massillon knife right here. It had it was just a little sunfish or a little two blade. It had broken back springs, and he had a hell of a time fixing him. He charged me 80 bucks, and I gave him an extra 20. So I got 100 bucks just in fixing the knife, but I'm not about to have a Massillon knife that didn't work, wasn't any good. It had some kind of solenoid on it, and he put ebony wood, which was an original thing they would have used. But nothing against Picklesheimer, great guy, did a good job for me. I thought that was kind of funny. That was kind of a funny deal there, but on it. This one here actually did a little repair right here, and you probably can't see it. It's right there. It's not very seeable. But there's a little history on Kinfolks, guys, and appreciate you watching. And so peace out, guys.